Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with a brand new speed build, this time doing a kind of autumn inspired restricted pack build. So this particular build was built using only seasons and cats and dogs. Now I kind of felt like I wanted to do another smallish suburban home on a 30 by 20 lot in Newcrest, and I wanted to do a restricted pack build because obviously there's still so many of you out there that request it on a regular basis. And you know what? I actually quite enjoy doing restricted pack builds sometimes. And I felt that seasons and cats and dogs are really quite popular packs, and they include some of my favourite items. And with it being an autumn build, it made sense to include seasons in one of those packs. So I went ahead and used them only, and I've just recently discovered, and I can't even believe I've only just recently discovered it, but James Turner, aka The Sim Supply, which is like our god for The Sims, he actually did a video on how to disable certain packs within your game, and it's just been such a lifesaver because it literally takes me forever to deselect all the packs when I'm building these particular builds, and I can't believe I've only just discovered it. But the good news is it makes it a hell of a lot easier for me to build these restricted builds. So yeah, I decided to go ahead and do this kind of, it's a little bit similar to a build I did a couple of builds ago on Newcrest as well, but this time I thought that particular build was using lots and lots of different packs, whereas this one's only using two. So I like to kind of challenge myself really to come up with a similar style that I've done in the past, but not using as many packs as I have done in the past. I mean, when I come to build normally, I don't even look at what I'm using from which pack, which is why I often say that if you see my build on the gallery and it looks like it uses every single pack, there's a chance that there's only one particular item out of one certain pack, and sometimes if you're only missing a couple, it can be worth downloading it anyway because you might find that it actually won't make that much of a difference. So this house is called Chestnut Avenue. It's a 4-bed, 3-bathroom build, and obviously it's on a 30 by 20 lot in Newcrest and comes in at just over 145,000 simoleons. So even though this is an autumn inspired build, I did decide to go ahead and build it in summer just so that I could see all the colours properly. But the screenshot and obviously the panning of the camera shots at the beginning and the end were done in autumn, and I actually moved this house over to one of my favourite 30 by 20 lots in Willow Creek, because it's just got a much more kind of busy background with lots of beautiful trees, and Newcrest in this particular area has got not a lot going on. So yeah, anyway, that's where I filmed that. So obviously with it being an autumn build, I went ahead and used plenty of kind of dark brown tones throughout the house, and I kind of used on the outside a little bit of a mixture of like this wooden kind of, I forget what it's called, but it's like the wooden wallpaper, as well as like the stone, and also I kept this kind of like white paint at the top of the house because I felt like it just sort of broke up like the darker colours a little bit. I didn't want it to be too dark and drab, you know. I wanted it to look really quite pretty in the summertime as well as you go through the different seasons. So again, with this build being on a 30 by 20 lot, there wasn't a lot of space with regards to landscaping because, again, I decided to do a design for the house which included kind of a garage that was built onto the side of the house. So there isn't a lot of space at the front of the house and there's not a great deal in the back, but I did manage to add in some skill building items. We've got a couple of seating areas around the back and a barbecue area, as well as planters, and I added a beekeeping box to the front of the house, as well as an easel which is on just like the balcony area at the front of the house as well. So I still managed to fit in plenty of things to do. You know me, I always like to throw in those skill building items. So it wasn't too kind of cluttered though. I tried to leave it quite pretty with, you know, I didn't want it to be a bit overbearing. So I think I came up with kind of a happy medium for the outside. But in all honesty, I actually quite like this house because It is 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, so that's still a really good size. I mean, even though the bedrooms are a lot smaller than what I'm used to doing, I still managed to fit in plenty of stuff within the build. And I think for 145,000 simoleons, that's probably the price you'd expect to pay for a house this size. Listen at me, Sims real estate talking here. I feel like I'm pitching a sale. But it is, in all honesty, the kind of house I would like my Sims to move into after their starter home. And yeah, I've just seemed to manage to fit quite a lot of stuff into this build. But the one thing I will say is that I didn't include the footage for the garage on the inside because I've made a couple of these recently and I literally fit the same sort of stuff into them. So, counters, and I fit a little bit of rubbish in there, a little bit of skill building items. I think in this particular one, I put the woodworking table as well as another kind of punch bag thing. So there's a couple of skill building items to do in there. But in all honesty, it wasn't really that exciting. So you'll be able to see it if you do download this house. And this house will be up on the gallery ready for download now. So I think it's just worth me mentioning, because I don't know whether everybody is aware, but the Sims have had issues with the gallery over the last sort of week or two, probably many kind of glitches you may have noticed in the gallery really since the kind of launch of seasons, but I know they've been working really hard to kind of rectify those issues. So if you do struggle to find any of my builds under my Origin ID Simkim builds, if you type in the hashtag Simkim, you probably will come across some of my builds a lot easier that way. And then obviously once you've found me, you can see all the builds throughout my particular gallery. So yeah, just a heads up there, because I know sometimes some of you leave comments saying that you're struggling to find the builds. And for instance, the last, not the last build I did, the build before that, the gallery was actually down, so I was late uploading that one. But yeah, just keep an eye out for that. But hopefully all of those glitches will be ironed out and the gallery will be back to normal use. So I'm just moving on to the interior, and downstairs in this particular build, we've got the kitchen and we have like a living dining area. We've got 2 downstairs bathrooms as well as obviously the garage at the side. So it feels quite spacious actually downstairs in this house. And the house that I did a couple of builds ago didn't actually feel as big as this one did. But I quite like the layout of this house as well. I sat and thought about the floor plan a little bit more than normal, even though I don't include it in here. I feel like it was quite an effective floor plan. So I did go ahead as well and use some different coloured counters, and I thought I seemed to gravitate towards like browns and greys and blues and just very sort of wishy-washy colours. So I thought I'd use something a little bit different, and I've not used this particular cabinet in a while. I think that's also the beauty of using restricted packs, is it makes you use items that you wouldn't normally use. So yeah, I really enjoyed making that kitchen, and it felt kind of really sort of cozy and warm as well. And that's what I wanted to go with this particular build, was just for it to all feel like no matter where you were in the house, it just felt really cozy and warm. So I'm just moving on to the living room now, and I played around with the wallpapers a lot in this house, but decided to go ahead and use that kind of Caribbean green looking wallpaper again. For me, that's quite a challenge to use that wallpaper actually, because I'm normally such a neutral coloured builder that it's quite a garish sort of colour for me, but I did really like it, and I felt like it fit really well in this build, especially with me doing like that darkish green counter in the kitchen as well. But yeah, this was kind of like the reception room / dining room, and I fit a little bit of anything and everything into this living room, I think, but I felt like it was really quite cozy in the end. So with regards to the upstairs in this house, I did go ahead and put 4 bedrooms in as well as another bathroom upstairs. Now I didn't actually include the bathrooms within this build because they were all that tiny. In all honesty, it was quite hard to get that footage in, and the screenshots as well, but I can assure you there is 3 fully functioning bathrooms throughout this house, and in actual fact you can see it just on the right hand side there. But I decided to do kind of a master bedroom as well as a little boys' bedroom, like a child's room. We've got sort of another twin boys' room, which has a toddler bed in as well as a single bed. And I did kind of like a bit of a girly room slash maybe guest room. It wasn't overly girly or anything like that. It was really quite neutral, if anything, but it's got kind of flowery wallpaper. So as normal, I did go ahead and customize these rooms and just give them a little bit of personality, because ultimately I was building this to be like a nice big family home. So I did include plenty of skill building items throughout the house as well. Obviously we've got a couple of them in the garage, as well as the little kids drawing table as well, and we've got the PC, and there's just loads of bits and bobs for your Sims to do. Ultimately this is a high-end kind of medium-sized house. I haven't kind of restricted it, it's not been done to a budget, so I have included everything that I can think of in it. But I'm actually just moving on to the master bedroom, and this particular bed is one of my favourite beds within the game. I just love the colour of this particular bed, and it comes in some nice swatches as well. I think there's only actually 3 swatches to this bed, but I just love the colours of it. But trying to find things to match it is kind of like not easy, but I felt like I did a pretty good job, because I've used this bed before and come across the same thing before. But yeah, I really like this master bedroom. It is very simple, it isn't overly cluttered or anything like that. It's just, you know, a generic master bedroom really. Now I hope you've all had a fantastic weekend. Mine's been super busy. I've actually been out today with all the family, and we've been for a really nice meal, which was good, but ultimately the kids have got homework and all that sort of stuff to do tomorrow. So yeah, it's been a busy one, but I have actually been working on some builds that are going to be coming up this coming week. I'm hoping to do another collaboration as well this week. That's either going to go up this week or possibly next week, as well as I'm thinking about doing a community lot build. Now it's been a really long time since I've done a community lot, and I'm not a massive fan, if I'm honest. I prefer just doing houses, but I think sometimes it's nice just to break things up, and I have done some nice sort of community lot builds in the past. It's just been a really long time, so I'm having a look at that and kind of compiling some ideas together to see what I can come up with. So I'm just working on this second to last room here, and as you can see, it's not overly girly. If anything, it could even be used as a guest room. It's entirely up to you. But this is the final twin room, and as you can see, I put in a toddler bed as well as a single bed, so there's plenty of room in this for quite a big family really. But I really hope you've enjoyed this build, and it's actually been quite refreshing to do a restricted pack build, and I will be doing plenty more in the future, there's no doubt about that. But if you have enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, it would be awesome to have you on board. But I hope you all have a great week, guys, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care, bye.